The last Act 1 challenge is simply called Owner, and it is also the last AZCLI challenge from these series. Let's check it out. The goose for this challenge is Goose James, and this is still rated as 1 snowflake difficulty level. I would argue that this could be, comparing to some of the upcoming challenges in Act 2, maybe also a 2 snowflake one, but it's not that difficult and you get a lot of hints. So if you talk to James here, it's going to give you the introduction to the challenge. And the hint for this challenge, just like the previous ones, will just tell you hints are in the terminal built in. And I am always doubting myself if I get all the hints for all the challenges. We'll check it later. I really wish they had some sort of like indicator next to the challenge, like how many hints you already taken and how many hints belong to a challenge. Anyways, let's look at this terminal. So here you're connected to a read-only Azure CLI session, and you need to investigate who has access and who shouldn't have access to this account. So we have an issue when it comes to investigating accounts in Azure, because the access to users and groups and service principals are assigned on resource group, subscription, maybe management group if you're using that level, or it can be also on the root of the tenant. But you sort of have to recursively go through and validate the role assignments on each level of the hierarchy. And this is a great demonstration of this concept or kind of obstacle when you investigating an incident, or you just want to secure your Azure tenant and you're trying to figure out who has access to what. So here, just like in the previous cases, we are going to start, just going to get to my notes, by looking at our account, and we are listing out our subscriptions in this case. Here we are using a James Path query syntax here to get just the name. Again, we will see that there are multiple ways to sort of skin a cat, as they like to say it, because you can either do this with the dash query built-in mechanism, or if you prefer, you can omit this, and you will see that we're getting back here a JSON object. So the alternative to this, and I wonder if we have JQ, this might fail. I haven't tried this one. If the terminal has JQ, yeah. So we can also do the filtering using JQ. What was it? Dot, and it was, I think it was an array. And then we see that each object has user.name is not what I want. .name. Well, that was the James Path query. I can select that field, basically list it out the same way. But this challenge is really telling you to use the dash query. And this is good because it doesn't require to have that extra JQ tool, but I do recommend using JQ for manipulating JSON data at the terminal. Okay, so the next step is to go and, this is still just listing, but now we're also selecting the ID. Again, the alternative to this one would be, yeah, this is a bit trickier because I would have to pipe it to an object selection .name .id, if I'm not mistaken. And I think everything goes in a Okay, I am messing around here with the syntax. Probably shouldn't do that. Well, you can certainly select the ID as an individual item. I'm always having trouble with the JQ syntax here. That's, yeah, probably not the best idea to have that one. But I wonder if we are getting a pass if we're just listing out the IDs. No, we're not. We need both the ID and the name. I wonder if we actually do need compile error, the dots. Let me just try this one last thing. Oh yeah, this is good. Still doesn't let us pass, but you will see that the output is exactly the same as what is required from us. There we go. Yeah, this is the downside of JQ, the syntax. You kind of have to remember it or use some sort of cheat sheet. Okay, so selecting the name and the ID will give you two important artifacts. Actually, the ID sometimes for a subscription is more desirable because that's how it is going to be displayed in resource ID values. So if you want to search across multiple, let's say, resource groups, that is probably going to be an easier way with the ID of the subscription. Okay, moving on. So let's take a look at the owners of the first listed subscription. And we're just taking here the ID. Again, just making a point here why you want to have the ID, because this role assignment list command requires you to provide the ID here. So you need to define the scope, and this role assignment list is a really, really important command. This is what allows you to go and list the role assignments. Now this is going to be on subscription level. And that is, well, not necessarily always desired. So you might want to do, I think it's --all or something like that. That allows you to, under subscription, go recursively. But for this challenge, we're just going to review our subscriptions here. And there's a group present in present for owner's permission. However, I've been assured it's PIM, Privilege Identity Management Group, and we have PIM owners here. Okay, we need to go and see the other subscriptions. So what you can do at this point is go and use the correct JQ syntax, not this one. So you can go and still going to use the JQ one. One by one, select these and just run the previous command with different IDs. But what I like to do, especially when I have to deal with the AZ role assignment list command, is to use a loop. And we already have all the components here. This is a bash shell. So what we can do is create a for loop and loop through the subscriptions. So here I am grabbing just the ID value from the output. As you can see, I prefer to use JQ because it's a bit more compact in formatting and syntax. And we're getting the subscriptions, and then inside the for loop, we are just essentially going to issue the same AZ role assignment list command, but one by one, we're going to go through each of the subscriptions. So less copying and pasting and more just, staring at the screen and having fun times. Okay, this will display us this IT admin principal name, IT admins. So this is already kind of foreshadowing that this is probably going to be a group, not a user. The others are all PIM owners, and yeah, it's scrolled away, but the important one is this IT admins group. And now we would like to see the members of this group. What we need to do is essentially grab this principal ID here, And then we can use the AZAD member list command. Just clear my terminal. Obviously, doing one by one the subscription owner enumeration in this terminal is more desirable because you can't really scroll. But in real life, I would still just suggest to use the for loop that I showed you, or something similar to this. Okay, so here we are kind of frustrated. We have a puffing smiley here, because turns out this is a group. So we have nested groups here, and we need to grab the next ID, this one, and see who's the owner, who's the member rather, of this group. We're just repeating the same command with a different principal ID. And we see that Firewall Frank is the member, the sole member of this IT admins group. And this is not under privileged identity management. So we're not closely monitoring this account, yet it is owner of subscription. And we don't really like that. So that is the solution for the challenge. So we're just going to finish. And now our screen is exploding with all the new stuff here. Let me just talk to James here, got the achievement. And we have unlocked Act 2 with all the Act 2 challenges. So this was a great little exercise. I think out of the 4 Easy CLI challenges, this objective was the most realistic one, and also the most challenging one if you never use this. But the 4 challenges altogether highlight a lot of important concepts, and I really enjoyed doing these simple little challenges. They kind of show you one specific issue with Azure services that you want to be paying attention to. Okay, the next video is going to be very lightweight one. So this is still Act 2, and you will see that the challenges are rated 2 snowflakes. Some challenges I would argue probably more like the 3 snowflake category, but all in all, these are still going to be very beginner-friendly challenges. So come with me into the next act and the next set of challenges in the next few videos.